Hello, thanks for checking the channel out, or if you're returning, thanks for coming back. My name is Chris at Garage Times. Today we're going to be talking about this Troy-built mini tiller. And this is a straight gas motor tiller, so you don't have to mix it. I ended up getting it from a friend, who ended up getting it from another friend because it wouldn't run. And then my friend ended up giving it to me. Sounded like he was too busy, didn't want to mess with it, I think. So it ended up being quite a simple fix, but I ended up making it more difficult than it had to be. But let's talk about what happened. I'm going to show you that it runs real quick before we talk about the fix. So the story is, once I got it and I tried firing it up before I fixed it, I noticed straight away that, hey, it's not starting and there's oil coming out of the air filter box dripping out here. So I took this off and tried pull starting it, and then tried the jump start on it. These things have like you can get a special tool, like a bit to fit on your drill, and you can just crank it instead of having to pull on it. So I had a lot of oil just kind of pouring out of here. So I was like, well, maybe something's going on with the crankcase ventilation, or there's some restrictions. So I ended up taking this like almost completely apart. And if you ever did need to get this motor off the shaft, all you got to do is remove those two star bit screws. One's a set screw for the shaft, and then the other one's just like a collar screw, and that whole motor will pop up and off. There's like two screws that hold the carburetor on, and then there's a couple screws that hold on maybe like the seal between it, intake. So I ended up, long story short, because I know your time's valuable, I ended up getting down to where I was gonna try to remove the flywheel, but in order to do that, there's like a special bit that you need on a really skinny shaft, like a star bit, and I didn't have, like, all these shafts are the diameter is too big to fit down there, so it's like a special one for it. So I ended up putting it all back together, and in the meantime, I also replaced the fuel lines, because the fuel lines on it were kind of questionable. And what I did then next was I'm gonna double check that oil level. And I just, when I first started doing it, I saw the oil coming out, I just was like, it can't be that easy with the oil level, but that's what it was. There was like 2 or 3 times or 4 times as much oil in it than it needed to be. So if you have one of these and you have oil coming out your air filter, before you tear anything apart, just double check the oil level. And on these, when you do the oil level, this is the thing, it has to be horizontal, like this. So like when you check the oil, that is the correct position for this to check the oil. And for whatever reason, there was just way too much oil in it, and that was causing the issues with the oil coming out of the air filter. And I mean, like, it was a lot just pouring out, but this is your oil that you would fill. And then when you do fill it, you get an angled funnel, and you just put enough oil in there till you start getting some oil pouring out, you know what I mean? And it'll be good. Like when I say pouring out, you just want to basically make sure, the direction's right on there, the horizontal look to it, and then you bring up that oil level to the bottom. Super simple. I almost wasn't gonna do a video, and I'm like, that's just so simple, and it's something that I should have caught right away, but hey, I'm not perfect. And if you got one of these and you got that, that's definitely what's going on probably. So hopefully this helps you out, and that's the story with this. And like why I jumped to right away tearing it apart is partially because my friend said, whoever his other friend was, he's a really good mechanic, and he can get anything running, and he couldn't get this running. So just, if you're going to work on stuff and you are getting something from somebody, and it does happen to come from another mechanic, just do the basics first. You never know, and anybody can make a mistake, you know what I mean? So I did. I almost tore the whole thing apart. So runs fine, no issues. You guys have a good one. And all for my returning viewers, this is going to be one of the next videos here in the next couple days. I should be tearing this down. It's a 99 transmission, 4-speed GM 4060E, and that'll be kind of a neat one. We'll tear it down and separate all the sub-assemblies, and then I might do a video on the sub-assemblies, like tearing down the pump and the clutch packs and stuff like that. But there'll be quite a bit to look at there. And I still haven't done that A-arm Equinox video ball joint. That's going to be coming up too.